Yep.
There you go. Are you on duty?
I was. I just got off duty.
I didn't do it.
It's nice.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Hey, I haven't seen you for a while.
I know.
Let's look on the time.
You can come hang out with me.
Okay. At the chamber office, or by the chamber office?
Well,
Is that where your office is already?
if you can find me there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you're always looking around.
I try.
I know.
That's where the stuff happens.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special edition next month. Yeah, of course.
Move out? Is that what you want?
I mean, you know, whatever you say. You every time I see you,
I like it.
I'm like, dang it, Adam, but, you know, like, but you know, thing is,
I think there's a plan. I think so. I don't know. It's not really expensive. Well, not right now. So if you have an upgrade, it's not like it's automatic. So if you upgrade it's going to tell you to the system.
That makes sense.
That's the way I understand it.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, even
All right, good to see you.
Main drawer. Roll call, please.
Carla, here. Ellie?
Here.
Judy?
Here.
Lizzie? Here. John?
Here.
Here.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
name's Dave Haber, I'm a county commissioner, but I'm here tonight on behalf of the Polk County Land Bank. And we've been working with you on property on 107 East Central. And we've had a couple different ways you want to tear down, one side, then the back, then both, and we need to have a exact idea what we want to do, because we'd like to get this bid out to be torn down. And the whole plat is in the floodplain. So if you keep the house in the floodplain, your insurance is no good anyhow, let alone, I don't know what the Ohio Department of Development will say about us trying to improve a property when it's in the floodplain. And I know that Gerald want to put a parking lot there, so if we could get you to, all to agree to tear the whole thing down, we can get on this right away.
I'll make a motion, we do what the gentleman's asking, at land bank's expense, correct?
Right, yep, we have agreed to do it.
And then, can we transfer ownership to the land bank without having to go out to bid or anything like that, is, what's the process?
No, you can maintain ownership. We'll put it out to bid, and you can maintain ownership.
Okay, I make that motion.
I'll second that. Discussion?
So this is just to, is this to knock it down and make a parking lot, or is this just to open it for bid? There's no way
It's
to
down.
save the property?
No, that's what he said, it's in a floodplain, and if you build on it, couldn't injure it.
But the Gerald will approve it into a parking lot, is that the idea?
So,
Is that the only option regardless who gets it, is this just gonna end up a parking lot?
Yes, because it is in a floodplain unless you build a house on stilts. Or a building with parking underneath. That's the only thing that can be approved under floodplain, because you have to pay flood insurance. It's pretty expensive.
so we're, if you don't mind.
Yep, go right ahead.
So we are, trying to figure out a way to expand MedChip here in Camden. Right now, we have the opportunity to possibly do a 3-story tower across from MedChip. It's not the bond building, it's the one that's boarded up next to it. It's been, I think it was a consignment shop, I'm not sure exactly, it's been empty for years. The plan, if it comes to fruition, would be to tear off the back part, the low part, it's not salvageable. The main building structure is salvageable and it's sturdy and strong. We would be adding, hopefully, a 3rd floor and extending it back, towards the alley. The problem with that lot is there is no parking. So if we have the ability to have the parking lot down on the corner, where the floodplain property is, we could justify putting, potentially 100 more employees here in Camden.
Okay, cause my only concern, I just didn't wanna see a bunch of parking lots sporadically around.
Yeah, I can actually show you too. I brought it just, I figured there aren't any questions about it. I made copies of it, and this is like a preliminary plan of what the parking lot would look like. It's not just a flat parking lot, it would be completely fenced in, landscaping all the way around, just so you can see what and it may change a little bit off of this, but probably not. But this alone would open up 25 spots.
Is that enough?
It will not be enough, totally, out of that lot, but with our other lots that we have, coming, don't quote me, but I think we have a total of 168 parking spots in Camden. So yes, with that addition, it would be enough.
So the only thing I'm asking for is a resolution to tear it all down and give us permission to enter. I'm sure we had that permission before, but I'd like to reiterate that. And if we need a resolution, we'll be able to sign it. So I have that, because we'll vote on it tomorrow. We have a land bank meeting tomorrow. Okay? But we can tear the whole thing down with our grant.
That's what the motion's for, we're ready to move.
Okay.
Roll call.
Carla. Yeah. Kelly.
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah.
Lizzie. Yeah. Jeff.
Yay.
Laura. Christine.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else for public participation?
Yeah. I'm Zach Asher, president for the Crush Honey Baseball League, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys kind of an update on where we are. We don't have enough for everybody to share, but I brought a couple pictures that you guys can kind of see We have almost tripled, if I'm correct, in space to use for the concession area itself. We're on track to be done before opening day. As long as we get our permits and everything in place, we should be ready to run this season. Dan's done a fantastic job.
Looks nice.
On another note, besides that, I just want to bring to light, we've had a donor that has made accusations on myself and on the company, and they're accusing us of misusing money, that we're not paying contractors in a timely fashion that they're supposed to be paid. Specifically, it's the guy that done the sheet metal on the building. They were saying that we should have paid them 6 months ago. When we started this, we gave that guy until November. He didn't get the job completed. And we extended it to December, still wasn't completed, and to this day, he's still gotta come back and make adjustments on stuff that's not right.
And you just
last-
held back on him till he's done?
And there was no contract written up with him, it was a verbal handshake. So, we assume that once it's done, we'll pay you. And after I spoke to him, after all these accusations came about, I called him directly. And I said, hey, why didn't you just tell me? Instead of all this stuff coming down, why didn't you call
Some of
me?
that kind of crap here.
So I agreed to pay him half. I said, that's more than fair, I'll pay you half, and you'll get the other half when the job's completed. We told him that he has until the end of March, because we even been over backwards for him. We're like, I know it's cold weather. He's been working in the cold weather every day, but we told him, we know it's cold weather, come back and finish what needs done, cause it's at least sealed in right now. Come back and finish it when it warms up. So we paid half, still owe half, but I just wanted to be out there, our side of the story, because I'm being threatened with lawyers, I'm being threatened with, they're gonna call all of our donors and let our donors know that we're misusing money and we're not doing stuff we're supposed to be doing. We have receipts for every red cent that we took from anybody.
That's all you need.
So,
There's always one crackpot, is there not?
there is,
Just to reiterate, not to interrupt you, it is donor told us we had to use this person, out of Trenton. So essentially we had to get the money, we had to use this guy. That was the only reason why he was ever used and brought to the table, so that's why, and then I felt like because I'm, the contractor in the situation, if things don't look right, don't pay them, and everyone has their money involved in this, the donors, there's numerous donors. We gotta use people's money wisely, and it needs to be done right. Now, everyone wants to be proud of this, so, that's the reason why this has all come to fruition. So,
we just wanted to get ahead of it before, if he does contact anybody.
I haven't heard anything.
Our name's personally involved in that, mine and his personally, when people see that, they're gonna think of us. And we have $150,000 of people's money, so I don't need that.
I think
So-
it's pretty common not to pay somebody until the job is finished.
Right,
So
yeah.
that's
I wouldn't
not-
pay
And-
we had a meeting with the gentleman that did the work, 2 weeks prior to this situation, and we all left on good terms, knowing that you finish the work, you get paid. Everyone left the table happy, so we thought. And then the subcontractor went to the donor, and then, I don't know what was spoken then, but,
Which they're friends, so they were hanging out.
yeah.
The way that I understood it was they were hanging out, and it was just a simple, how's the building coming? And our subcontractor made the statement of, oh, we're almost done, we haven't got paid yet. And then that's where the donor
They've
got
been
all
paid
upset.
something, they just haven't been paid.
Well, at that point, they hadn't been paid anything yet, but he didn't even ask us for money. And we had a meeting with him a week and a half prior to this all happening. And when we left that meeting, everybody was happy, everybody was on the understanding that you'll get paid when the job's completed.
And just to reiterate too, this is just the man's labor, he has no material involved in it. We put it all in material, he just was the labor, which was, subpar to
And to
begin
be
with.
quite frank, they didn't even supply the tools, the people showed up with no tools or nothing. I mean, and I know he probably don't want that to be out there, but just to be flat out honest, these people showed up with nothing, not even a level. So,
Yeah, well, but,
If,
you know.
if Dan wasn't there, the building would've never gotten where it was, because they had nothing to do with it,
And
so.
we're not trying to run this guy through the coals, it's just, it's been blown up. It's just one of those situations we wanna shine some light on it and get ahead of it and let all you all know that, you know, we're using everybody's money wisely. Nothing's getting mishandled. I have a folder here with every receipt, every dime we've spent on the project. So we got nothing to hide, so we just wanna be forthcoming with that.
Very good.
We're just trying to nip it in the bud. So,
It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does, looks very nice.
thank you guys, that's all I have.
Anybody else got anything?
You guys can keep this.
You gonna leave us?
I'm leaving it. You did what I needed to do, Dan, that's.
You'll have to see.
Staff reports. Anybody got any, Reggie, you got anything?
Four water main breaks, a broken hydrant, a hydrant ran over. The RAS pumps in the basement quit, flooded the basement of the wastewater plant. That about sums it up.
Been pretty quiet around there.
Yeah.
Also got had two bids, we had a bid for $44,000. Ben has advised us that we should go ahead and try to subcontract out the water meter installation, so we could get it done in a timely manner. We got two bids to do, one was $44,000, Rusty got us one for $37,500. And I think, did they say how long it take them to put that in?
They said probably about a month. Yeah. So they're local. They're out of Liberty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's, Mike,
Burco.
Marco Inc. So what we've got now, we've got water meters that have a 10-year lifespan, and they've been on the shelf for 2 years already. We need to get these installed as quick as possible. I think we're all set for everything else to go.
How soon can they install these?
They say when they start,
He said they would get right on it. I don't know what that means, but I assume fairly quick. Of course, we have to get rid of the snow and stuff because you couldn't even find water pits at this point. So
couldn't get them open in town.
yeah.
Unless they were leaking. All right, could I, motion to do this? 37.
Did you ever get the downspout put on the bid?
Yep. So I had, actually, Doc wanted us to try, because we have one in the middle. We kind of dumped in his parking lot, and there was getting a bunch of ice there by the cars. He was afraid the girls were gonna fall. So he asked me if I could tie that one into the back one. So I had him tie that one in and run diagonal across the building, and then down, and then out further. So
I make a motion that we accept Burco Incorporated's proposal to install the new water meters. Second motion.
Discussion? Roll call.
Carla? Yeah. Kelly?
Nay.
Judy? Yay. Lizzie? Yay. Jeff? Laura? Yay.
All right. What else got in?
Now, but on that note, Rusty did his training on the new meter reading today, and then I do mine tomorrow.
Okay. Great.
Are we in old business?
We're still in the staff report. We got some new business too. Same with staff reports. This is come from the fire department. We have to schedule a walkthrough here for fire safety, I guess. And they would like us to install a Knox box on the building somewhere so they have access to the building in case of fire or emergency. Knox box is gonna be about $1,000.
Why don't we just give them a key?
Well, maybe we want someplace to put the key.
This is required by the Ohio 2017.
Yeah.
One inch probably do that.
So, would we like to go ahead and,
If it's required, I would say yes.
yeah,
You need a motion?
need a motion for this?
I make a motion that we install a Knox box.
Second that. Discussion?
What does it look like, where does it go?
Well, I think we should work with the fire department on where to locate it.
I don't want it like,
Yeah, not on the front of the building.
We can put it back here by the police entrance. Yeah.
You better talk to Josh on that one, because I think it has to be, it has to be in a certain location.
Yeah. The fire department will decide it.
I just don't want it promptly displayed on the front of the building.
Probably it's concrete against where the old mailbox is.
That's not a bad idea.
You know what he's talking about, the Knox box, you know those Knox boxes,
I
right?
see what it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty gaudy looking kind of thing, but
Well, I think that's a good idea.
Any discussion, roll call.
We just put a key in the mailbox.
Yay.
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 Alright.
that's not what
More staff reports. Okay, old business.
What I missed was second reports on contract for economic development, is that, what was that? Well, that's what it is. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, where we're at now. Contract for economic development and assistance.
I was curious, it was asked of me what is being worked on, for our contract, it was in the minutes with, Gunderson Consulting.
Well, this,
And so I was just wondering if we could make a policy that just he sends an email to council members and mayors once a month, just to kind of say what he's working on and make it a regular rule. Yeah, I got it.
and I've met with him once for, Ryan over to, Friendship.
I would just like to, like, when somebody comes up to me and says like, you know, hey, what projects are we working on? That's $2,000 a month, is a lot of money for a lot of people, so I wanna be able to say, oh yes, we get monthly updates on that, we're working on this.
Okay.
That's all I was wondering, cause I don't have any contact with that person, I've never met him a day in my life. I couldn't even put him out in a crowd.
Well, if they ask you, you can look back at
Oh,
this report.
Well, yeah, please send me a report every month. I'll ask him. Send one, I'll get you one.
Thank you.
Alright, you want old business time clock for office employees?
At a December meeting during conversations on something else, it was actually Kelly that in that conversation made the motion to install a time clock, and it was overlooked in the conversation that we were having. So I would like to make a motion that we install and use a time clock for the office employees, since our work crew requires time clock machines and everyone else, rather than handwritten. Since our rule book does
I
say.
called around several villages and it's mixed. Eaton does not clock in their fiscal officer and staff reports. Gratis does, but, Eldorado doesn't.
It's currently in our handbook that they're supposed to use a time clock machine, so we should.
Oh, there,
It's gonna be in a year,
Yeah.
in a handbook, we should.
we don't have an updated handbook, that's something that I was gonna talk about, for the whole business.
What clock system do you want, what software?
That would all have to be determined, yeah.
Well, if we're gonna have time clocks, for one, we're gonna have time clocks for every single solitary soul that draws a check here, period.
I mean,
So
all
we're
the,
not going to have time clocks for office employees.
right, but the work crew all has a time clock that they
It should
use.
be the same, like, if we're gonna do it, it needs to be in, like, the same software, so everybody is clocking in. Like, there's apps that you can use that look, like, it'll target where you're at, so if you're sitting at home clocking in, we will
I
know.
would like that.
I think if we're gonna do that, then
I just think
everybody needs to
that
be able to do the
everybody
same.
should have the same,
Like, the
Police
guy should be
department
clocking in
clocks
100
sheriff,
years.
with the sheriff's department, go on duty, and when they go off duty, and they stop, and everything. department will not be required.
Rest of your guys clock in at the shop, don't they?
At our maintenance barn,
Thought so, yeah.
What software do you use?
we just got a time clock.
This is.
Yeah.
Standard one, so I thought if half our employees do it, then they should all do it.
We do, and Nelson and Billy and Tim also do down at the wastewater plant, this time clock.
But it shouldn't be that hard for everybody to be underneath the same software, so.
I don't think that was,
It doesn't even
this
have software,
song
does it?
is.
That's also a machine.
Then we can update it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I would say if you update it, it'll all go right to her
Yeah, like,
for payroll.
if you use like ADP.
Oh, okay,
Then
I see what you're saying.
if she's clocking in, and he's clocking in, and
That
the
all
other guys
goes-
are, it's all underneath the same, like, instead of them just using one time clock, we need to have it all under one umbrella. So it can be tracked.
But why pay out for software when you can have this 3 time clocks and you clock in and out and she gets the time card? Like, why pay for software? The time clock is a
Why
one,
would we pay for a clock in, clock out anyways? I mean,
well, you already have 2, you just need one more, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's just an old school clock in, clock out.
Yep, that's what we use at work, yep.
So, if you're going to make it across the board, there's software that will track everything.
So you have to pay for that software.
I'm very aware of that. I'm just saying, that's what I wanna see. If we're gonna go with time clocks, I would like to see everybody underneath the same one, same software. It's my own personal, that's what I would like to see.
Well, I think that probably needs to be investigated, what do we get, what's it gonna cost, is it gonna be computerized where it feeds her all the payroll information? That would be ideal, I think.
Well, they make that, it all goes into one.
Well, and it also sounds like it would tell you where everybody is.
Correct.
So,
Okay, so we need to look into software. I think that's.
I don't have a problem with it.
Carla, are you doing that?
No,
Somebody's looking, I might be able to find something through the hotels that I used to work at.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll find out something for that, hopefully, our next meeting, we'll have some information on it. All right, more full business. Verification on audits, what audits we talking about?
At the last meeting, it was noted that there was an audit done, a recent audit done, and I tried to find that audit so that I could read it. But when I contacted the county and looked through the state, the last audit that was actually recorded was finished 7/11/2024, and that audit was for the report period of,
21, 22, and 23.
nope, just, 1/1/21 and 12/31/2022. We have no current audits anywhere, state or county, for the 23.
They haven't completed the audit yet, that's
Yeah, it's
really.
every other year. It's
But,
not every year.
right, but in the last meeting, it was said that there was an audit, and there wasn't. So
I
if
think what
there
they were
was,
talking about was, what's her name coming down here looking over the books, I don't think it was literally, it's figuratively
right,
expressed.
because that was not an official audit. The email I got from her said, this is not an official audit. My language was used specifically for proper public procedure. So I
What did you
asked
ask her?
I asked if I was missing anything, because when it was said that there was an audit, I had 2 different people come up to me and say, why am I saying that, the current fiscal officer has not been audited, but in the meeting it was said that they were.
Yeah.
So I wanted clarification to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
She's audited from the state.
Who?
The entire village is,
Fiscal officer was audited.
When?
Well, when we got a lawsuit filed against us.
They're currently looking into things, but there's no report of an
The
official
report's
audit.
not done yet, I talked to the lawyer today, or yesterday, and the report is not finished yet.
Who filed the
We're still
lawsuit?
trying to get some information.
I filed. I didn't file a lawsuit, I asked for an investigation.
It's a lawsuit.
Well, I have the copy of the last regular audit from Perry, we were all provided.
Right, I have that.
Yeah. But that, we haven't got any information back from that audit yet, they're not done with it, and they still have some paperwork that we need get that, we'll get you the final audit, well, it'll come out.
Well, it'll be for everybody, won't be just for her.
It comes out, well, it comes out on the public.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something that was actively finished final audit, other than what I could find.
It just shows that you don't understand anything when it comes to this. If you-
Well, there's a
you just-
difference between an investigation and an audit. Those are two different things.
Absolutely.
There is, but it's just working, I mean, and still, they came down, looked, checked through our stuff, so it's basically an audit. They're not what's legally considered an audit, but they're still auditing the stuff that they're, the records. I mean, that's what she's doing, checking them out. But, okay, it was not a legal.
An
word,
official.
Official.
Okay, I just wanna make
But
sure. I
there is
wasn't
one
missing
ongoing at least.
it. Okay.
Can I ask how long it usually takes to do an audit?
It takes years. The
To do
that
one
she's
year?
talking- the one, well, the 21-22 wasn't posted until 24.
And here's what's gonna be different. Trina is doing everything where when the auditors come, she can hand them a stick. And they can go, or she can send it to them. They would have to physically, and I never really understood it, because I never, they would have to physically come here and look through every sheet of paper in our basement for sometimes weeks.
And they took several boxes worth of.
No, I'm not talking about this time, I'm talking about in the past.
Oh, yeah.
They would come and they would set up shop in our basement, we're in here for weeks doing our audits because everything was on paper, nothing was computerized. And there would be 4 of them. I don't know what state of Ohio auditors cost, but I'm sure they're not cheap. It was hundreds of dollars an hour. Our audits would cost thousands of dollars because we were so antiquated in our record keeping. So now, at least when the audit is done, for good or ill, whatever it is, it will be instantaneous, it'll be in there, they probably don't have to show up here unless there's a question. And the only time they've been showing up here is when someone calls and hits them from some imaginary dragon. So, it's just been ridiculous. But,
So is everything now computerized, what they're working on now, or are they working on something that was on paper?
They took paper, they want records, the seeds and stuff that they're going to. All in
Okay,
paper.
so we're still working on paper now.
Well, the seeds and stuff, yes.
Cause they're using that as backup to what we're going to put on the computer.
There was alleged fraud. Alleged fraud, they would come down here, it was, anything other than alleged, there was someone. Elizabeth called and told them there was fraud in the water,
Suspected.
whatever, and without evidence.
All right, moving on.
Scott Slavers,
Any old business?
yes, Scott Slavers needs to know if we are going forward with the order
Yes,
that Sean had placed.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Kevin,
What was that?
that was the,
for the flowers.
Okay.
for the
Yeah.
initial install.
Yeah, she thought,
It's $479.
okay, and, when they go up, we'll have to take a check with, when they go to pick it up.
Well, can I pick up on that a little bit, because, Luke Sparks asked if we put this out for some kind of bid for the planting and so forth, so it's probably what we need to do, and to have those things put where we want them and have him do the preen and the mulch, so that's something we need to be thinking about as we move forward.
We'll probably need to put together some sort of a description of what we
Yeah.
want, so that way,
Where it is, what it is.
well, and that way the bids are apples to
Yeah.
apples.
And they'll be using our plants, they'll just be providing labor and mulch and whatever we ask. So I think we can do that.
Well, and while we're on that subject, there was, Keith and Kathy Petro want to have it, they want to donate a tree and have it planted at Whiteville Park, Allen's memory. So, they said they would dig it, and I said, we'll take care of that, because with all the electric and stuff that's up there,
Yeah.
the guys know where the electric work, the basic area where the electric
Yeah.
is. So that way we didn't cause more problems.
So, makes sense.
So I'm like, I need to make a motion for that. I'll make a motion for them to purchase a tree and we'll install it at Whiteville Park.
I second that.
Discussion? Roll call.
Yeah. Kelly? Judy? Yay. Lizzie?
Yay.
Jeff?
Yay.
Laura?
Yay.
Alright, any more old business?
I had applied for that community grant through Tri-Health
Yes.
for $4,000 to create, the Helping Hands program, which basically would provide critical assistance to anybody. You can apply to get a script covered or, you know, food shortage or anything that you need assistance with through us. Fill out an application. I have the application. I have everything ready, but I wanna get, it can take up to 30 days to get the check
Okay.
in hand. But we did get the grant, and it was for $4,000, and I wanna make a motion to match it.
Are we allowed?
It goes back to the community.
I wouldn't have a problem with it, other than we just spent $40,000 on something that we should have done in-house. I think it's a good place to do it.
This is a good thing, I mean, as long as we can do it.
Yeah, and we can double check, I mean, like, this is just to get the ball rolling. I'll do the backside work to make sure that it falls in
Right.
regulation.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll have like an application to give to everybody, and we'll have it on the website. We can ask, I mean, if anybody, any companies can donate towards it. They have similar programs in other municipalities, so I'll reach out and make sure that
Yeah.
there's the guidelines for it.
And how did you go in the match?
I want to match 4,000.
Steve Foy always said that anything that promotes our village is considered, and I think that it's
Consider this separate.
I'll make a motion we match the 4,000.
She already made a
She
motion.
made a motion, she.
Or I'll second that.
Any more discussion on it?
Yes, yes. When somebody applies for this, do they have to show evidence that they're a Camden resident?
Yes, so the application will state that. Well, I'm creating a subcommittee, so it won't just be myself, but there'll be 3 council members, and then the first and third, Thursday of the month, we'll sit down and make sure that what somebody's asking for, you can't reapply, you know, more than, I think I put once, in a year or in a 6 months time span. We'll decide. There is a limit, I have it all broke down into all that, so I had to do it for the grant. It's a lengthy process, but, and then when they apply, we'll go over the criteria and see if it fits into the criteria.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Carla? Yay. Kelly?
Yay.
Judy?
Yay.
Lizzie? Yay. Jeff?
Yay.
Laura? Yay.
Alright. Any more old business? New business? Sewer rates. That's something we're gonna look into along with the water stuff.
Well, I think it should have been, I don't know why it just says sewer, it should just be, one will generate the other.
This is all information that Nelson's provided for review.
Yeah, I think we'll.
May I ask something? This grant that she's talking about, it's a wonderful idea, but if I'm the person who needs a prescription today, and you're not doing this till the 1st or the 3rd week, how would they get their medicine? If they cannot pay for it, yet there's this grant that you're willing to give the community, but they need the medicine now, not a week from now when you have the meeting.
Well, unfortunately, we can only approve them in a
In
public
a
meeting,
public meeting.
so.
So prescriptions might not work.
Yeah, it might not, I mean, if you're in, it'd be like, we didn't have the grant prior, so this is just a bonus.
No, I was just asking how
Yeah.
it would work, because if I needed medicine,
Well, it's also something I'm gonna speak with the pharmacy and
I was
Dr.
gonna say-
Thompson's office.
What would happen if we just kind of turned it over to let them,
Like, if they,
they would know probably quicker and better than we would just. take
Well,
care of it.
even if they needed the medicine, if they didn't, I mean, grant or not, they wouldn't have, if they're asking for the grant, they can't afford the medicine.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, so I'm
So
saying,
if-
so even if we didn't have the grant program, how would they have gotten the medicine?
There's other places, I know like the little shop would be more than willing to do things like that. There is community and things out there.
There's
It
tons of
just, it probably
resources.
just wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be immediate, so it wouldn't
It
be
wouldn't
an
be,
immediate.
it wouldn't be something that would go for a prescription then, because it wouldn't be
But
something.
it could be a prescription, there are
She was
non-emergency
just using
prescriptions that
that,
people,
you know.
need help with, or if you need a pump for, diabetics that can't do, certain things like that, it's not, it's just a broad grant to be able to help our community, the people
I think
that are
it's
in need.
wonderful.
But I can't sit here and say that we have every single tiny little detail ironed out yet. The biggest stuff was getting the grant, and then kind of working through the next process of.
Is this something you can apply for every year?
Say that one.
Is this grant something that can be applied for the
Yeah,
county?
so McCullough High actually they do these community grants. Any municipality, any nonprofit can apply to it. And they offer them twice a year. So we actually got it this year.
I got a question too. I'm technically still chair of the planning commission, and I know we went on hiatus for a while pending a zoning code rewrite following the current ordinances of Camden. And I wanted to know what your guys' progress was on rewriting the zoning stuff. Cause right now, the planning commission's kinda dead in the water without a zoning document to work from.
I don't think there's been anything about, I don't think any of us are gonna be rewriting a zoning, I mean,
Not anytime soon.
not,
Okay.
I have to go through it and try to pick some of the things that we think are a good idea, and
Cause, I know that was something I was working with Ben when he was still working for township, and now he's back as a contractor, but I didn't know if we were doing anything with that while he was still back with us, or not, cause,
Here, that still needs condensed.
yeah. Alright, well, I guess just keep me updated, cause I'm still on the planning commission, and it's still on the website and everything, so we still exist, we're just waiting on you guys.
Alright, any more new business? Just Ohio check road cap.
Yes, it was asked of me, I didn't even know it existed. I asked, Trina about it, she didn't know it existed. I guess we used to use,
Do know it exists, I have the paperwork. Becky did it like 4 years ago, and then she put it.
okay, well, when I emailed you and asked you if you knew anything about it, you said you did not, so I was asked if we could start updating that information and get it up to date, at least for 2022 and 2023, and keep that alive, because some of the residents and, I know at least one business checks in on it, and it just kind of gives them somewhere to look to see where our finances are and what we're spending money on.
Does all the villages and cities use?
No, it's
It's
just a
an
like.
option.
It's an option?
And we did do it in the past, but I think it would be cumbersome to go back years and years and try to load all that. If you wanna start doing it for 2025, that might be reasonable.
I searched everyone around us, no one does it.
I think we were the very first ones in the state of Ohio actually to adopt it.
Yeah, and everywhere that I could look, we were like the first one to start doing it. I just thought it was a good resource for transparency and openness in the community to have this information accessible, because people wanna know where their money is going and what it's spent on, and with the climate of where the nation is right now, it might be a good resource for us to do.
Well, that has been the reason that Becky quit using it.
She left the office and Trina took over and just got lost and
No,
it
it was
just
all
got
before
dropped.
that.
She
but-
stopped doing it in 2021, I have our village report from the Ohio Check book.
But we need to go back to the sewer rate thing, we got to talk about sewer rates once we get back all of this checked. Okay?
Anyway, is it something that we wanna do? That's the question you have.
Yeah, is it something that we can do for our community?
on the one thing, so maybe next year, everything's smooth sailing, bring it back then, but right now, I'm not interested, and that would be where I am. So,
Does this go along with the budgetary management thing?
No, that's a different issue. Do you want to, he said something about going back to the rates, you want to discuss that first?
we gotta raise rates, that's just it, and there's no pussyfooting around it, we had to pull $125,000 out of our general fund to
We
make.
got, well, that's,
Yeah.
what we got here came from, Nelson. And this is, Green County Cemetery, engineering firm, these are the rates that they charge. And we're
Yeah. We knew, remind me again of the gentleman's name that you were working with in the office. Richard.
Ford.
Richard Ford. I mean, he caught, and I knew it, he was here last year, I knew we were behind on rates. But he told Trina, and I relayed it to the council some time ago, he said we were under $10 right off the get. So we sit here for another year, and then we get a bill for $125,000 on our water system payment that had to come out of the general fund. So we're gonna have another payment coming due, we can't be draining our general fund. This has to be a user pays cash flow thing. And it has been for years, and we've just not kept up with costs and expenses and like everything else. So $10 is just the opening start, but I would make a motion that until we can drill down into the actual numbers and see where we need to be, we gotta get a $10 jump on this thing, and probably do, I'm gonna ask for an increase of 5 immediately, and 5 maybe here in, the second quarter, and 5 in the third quarter, and reinstate our 2.5% escalator. If we have our escalator in place, which is the reason for having it, so we didn't have to go back and catch up, we wouldn't be in this situation. So 2 or 3 things need to happen. We've got to raise rates, unfortunately, everything, and we're not doing anything anybody else hasn't done or isn't doing or isn't facing. And we've got to reinstate our escalator, because that escalator gives you a couple dollars a year that you can apply, or $2 or $3 a year that you can apply to different line items, water, trash, sewer, and that helps us keep up. So, when you talk about, what did we spend last year, do you remember, Russ, just on cleaning wells, 50,000?
Actually, that's one thing I slipped up, I didn't tell you, we're cleaning well 2 right now. So last year we cleaned well 2 twice.
That's about 50 grand.
It is.
So, you know, doesn't take too long to get yourself upside down on top of not keeping up with what it costs to produce water and pay people and insurance and everything else.
Well, also, at one time, we had lowered the rates.
Oh, we lowered rates 3 times.
I think right now though, it would be too soon to actually change our rates currently until, one, the wells are in, everybody's being charged appropriately, we know the water count is set, we're charging late fees, we're on a regular consistent basis, shut-offs, assessing people for their unpaid water bills, making sure delinquent counts are at an average amount. Until we work those things out, wouldn't it be a little bit premature to just up
No,
the
not
water?
when we just shoved $125,000 out the window, no.
Yeah.
So the dollars you're talking about are pennies in the couch cushions compared to what's going on in the window here.
Cause I figured that out, that's about $32,000 with delinquent water, the late fees and all that, so we're still.
Right, but we have meters that are not appropriately charging
We
people.
have meters
because
been sitting in
they're-
a box for 2 years.
So wouldn't it be premature to up people's water until we're accurately charging people
Not
for
when you're in the
water?
whole $125,000.
I would say that this is a great idea, the $5 and then $5 in the second quarter, but I would also suggest that we wait until this company gets all the new meters in and we're all on one.
I don't see what difference it makes. I mean, when will they be done?
He said it might take him a month.
Yeah, I'll give them a call tomorrow to see when they plan on starting. He said probably a month they would have everything in.
Well, I'll make a motion upon completion of these water meters that we initially do a $5 increase, and then, so let's say that's April first, that should be enough time. Okay, and then,
Depending on the weather.
Yes, it depends on the weather. I'll get with
either
them.
way, April first until it's done.
Yeah,
April first, we do 5. July first, you do another 5, and I think we have to, and that just gets you caught up. That doesn't even start laying in anything for reserves, which are depleted because of, again, we pulled 125 out, we put 50,000 on, just the wells in general. So we're gonna have to take a harder look at this. But then I also, in that same motion, we've got to at least put a 2.5% escalator back on. So that happens every year. Maybe 3, let me do the math.
Well, probably the biggest mistake we made was when we lowered the rates.
It was, but here's
At
where
the time, we thought it was the right thing to do.
we lowered the rate simply because as we paid off our debt,
Yes.
we lowered the rates commensurate with what we were paying in, debt service. So if we could lower the rate $3 per household times, that was 2,000. So as we paid off our debt, we lowered the rates along with what we were, our debt service rate had. So it was just giving people back their money, but at that time.
I'd kind of like to look at some of this information that Nelson has provided for us, because I'm looking here and it says use over 1,000 gallons monthly, so their charge, so 1,000 is their minimum. So maybe we need to adjust our minimum.
I agree.
So there's maybe some other things we need to do instead of just $5, $5, $5.
Oh, I don't disagree, but we gotta get started somewhere. We've been at this crossroads for 2 years.
Right, you've got a motion, starting in April, or when meters are installed. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion, any more discussion? Roll call.
And that's for 5 and 5, and a 3%, let's do a 3% escalator, because that's gonna get you closer to where you need to be.
I just don't think it's a smart decision to know until we know where we're at after the meters and after everything. Then we can look at the information, give people time to look at the packet that they just got today before making the decision.
The decision is made for you. The decision is made, the arithmetic tells you you are falling short every single day, every single month, to the tune of $125,000 that came out of the general fund. That is not sustainable. Do you know what you could have done with $125,000? You could have matched that with a grant. If you had $125,000 to put with a grant, which I don't even know if there's any grants in the pipeline.
All right, but we've got a motion, we've got a second.
Well, hang on a second. I mean, what, could we just like meet in the middle? Could we just do either one or the other, an escalator now?
It's not enough.
It may not be enough, but at this moment, it would be something until we get
You
this
won't
stuff
get it
solved.
until, the escalator won't start until the first, like next year. I mean, you can do it, it's usually escalator hits at the first of every year.
It just seems odd, where, I mean, we didn't have a single water board meeting last year, so nothing really got discussed. We had a whole issue with water meters and all kinds of stuff with, financially, with the money that should have been coming in to the village.
What money should have been coming in?
When it comes to people not getting shut-offs, not paying, having late fees,
Again, a
erased
lot of
from
that's
people's
because
debt.
of the
Every
issue with
little
the
bit
meters.
counts, and when you said it was what was around 30 something
It was
thousand?
like 32, 34,000.
Okay, so 34,000 means, okay, that's the difference between you upping our water bill $5 and $4. And when you have a municipality of 2,000 residents that are, Pearl Shawnee School District is the poorest municipality in the county. So every dollar counts. When I look at my monthly bills, every dollar counts, and I make way more than a lot of the people in this municipality.
And I understand that, but at some point, we have to get to where we're at least breaking even. And actually, we need to make a little bit more, because when water mains break, we gotta pay for that.
And I'm not saying let's not do it, I just think that we should hold off so that we know exactly how much we should do it once a list of things are met, once the meters are installed, once we can go over the
Well,
numbers.
the meters
once we
have been
can-
here for 2 years and they never got installed, so now we need to move it.
I don't know how to install them, or I would
Just
have had
one.
them installed.
$5 or $5.
Just on
All right, I'm pretty good time here.
Can we do the $5 and come back for that second? Like, can you?
You are coming back, you're putting me off until
we
I
get
say
the
yank the
January.
Band-Aid off. I will make a motion to do 10 if you wanna do that, because we are in the hole and not growing. And don't forget this, and I know, not everybody remembers this, knows it. You know, the one levy that generated a little over $100,000 failed last time around. That was for the general fund levy. So, you know, the citizens of Camden are already keeping rightfully there, so it's their money. But there's already $100,000 that's not coming in, that used to come in, that went to the general fund for, you know, things like this paving bill that's $92,000. So, you know, we've gotta get back on track and get our finances managed a little more tightly. And putting off the pain of raising rates isn't going to solve the problem. It's just,
I have a question. How much do we pay for 10,000 gallons of water?
what's the, I don't know.
I think is our minimum 3,000
Yeah,
gallons.
Yeah.
minimum's 3.
So how much do you pay for 1,000 gallons of water?
I don't know. I used to know. I don't know.
Dollars cost for 1,000 gallons produced. In 2023, it was $7.86.
Okay. I think it's our water at Deer Run, we get our water all the way from McGonigal. And we pay $4 for 1,000 gallons of water. And I just don't understand why water is so high. That, I know that we have to pay sewer and all that stuff, but water, you know, we don't use that much water. I mean, it's just my husband and I do laundry every 2 weeks and I buy bottled water to drink.
Well, I'll tell you why you're paying probably more than you think you should, but I don't think it's out of reason. Is a few years ago, we built a water loop, I forget, that cost $1 million and some dollars, we built a new water tower, that was almost $1 million. Then we put in, new wells, a new water system, that, I mean, it's millions of dollars. And we have a debt service on that, and we had no choice. I think our payment every month, it used to be, it's probably the same more, our payment every month on our water system was like $22,000 a month. That's just our payment.
I understand that, Kelly, but how much did the people that ruined our wells give us?
The settlement for the salt was $1 point some odd million, I think. So, but, the wells, that's really.
Well, I'm just trying to understand that. I live at Deer Run during the summer and my water bill is included, and we don't use that much water. I just don't understand how you pay $7 for 1,000 gallons of water, and I only use the minimum of $3,000, so that's like $21.
How much is our water bill? Because
Mine's $98.
how much?
Just the water.
My water bill is $98.
The water bill.
I need to trash water, sewage, and
That's,
trash
you
together.
pay for trash and sewage.
So it's
Water's completely
20.
different.
I think my water was like 26 or 25, it was like mid-20s
They're
for
Yeah.
gas and water.
that's for 3,000 gallons.
Water's 55.84.
For the minimum.
Sewer's 28.85.
Well, maybe then.
Okay. So,
Sewer was what?
could we postpone it so we can have a water board meeting and discuss
If I'm on the
lots of
water board,
options?
depends on who I'm on the water board with.
But they're the same as last year.
Why not?
I don't know.
Cause I like the idea of like lowering the minimum instead of 3,000 gallons, that's a lot for that, you know, that would help a little bit. And you find little places to make changes, we could probably solve a good amount of the problem so that we don't have to raise it $5, $10,
If you
$50.
got a family of 3 or 4 kids, 3,000 gallons is just barely enough.
I have 4 kids and there's 6 of us, and we're just about $100 a month on our water, sewage, and trash.
And I bet you, and it's not an excuse, it's a reason, I bet you that the water, sewer, and trash bill that people get in their mailboxes is probably the smallest utility bill and the smallest bill they get every month. When you think of what everything else on this planet costs and what everything is.
Everything's gone up. But that's, so what is the motion we have?
My motion is $5 post haste, $5 in April start putting some reserves back into the system.
Okay, so you got a motion for $5 after the meters are in, and then 3%
Escalator for
escalator
January first,
January 26th.
So,
and $5 sometime mid-year, I mean, we're gonna have to do
That'll
it
be
just to get
something we have to
even.
bring up in mid-year.
So $5 now, $5 when the meters are installed?
No, $5 when the meters are installed.
If you wanna revisit it in July, I don't have a problem with that, but I just wanna make sure it gets done, and I thought if we did it all in one big beautiful bill, we'd have it all done right now.
I guess I'm confused, I'm not exactly sure what the motion is.
The motion is, we raise, the water rates $5,
Now,
no, April first, or when the meters are in, but I think it should be in by April first. Then, July first, another 5. And then January first, the 3% escalator is, levied across the board on the entire bill, not just on water. And that gives you $2 and something additional, that then we can pony every year on top of something. If we've done that the last however many years that we haven't had it, we wouldn't be here. The escalator was the reason to spare us the pain. Now, here we are with the pain, because we removed the escalator.
All right, we have the motion, do I have a second?
I second.
We've already discussed it. Roll call.
Carl,
Nay.
Kelly,
Yay.
Judy,
nay.
Lizzie,
Nay.
Chuck,
Yay.
Laura,
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right, so you got that, budgetary management.
That would be me. I did a record request and I've gotten some of that record request and I was going through the records and
Yeah, I have a question. I just watched Lizzie mouth effing bastard after you got done talking. Is that normal?
What's that?
You just said fucking bastard when he got done talking. You mouthed it.
That's true.
Is this what we're doing here? Did you say that?
Yes, she did. She
Did
looked
you
at
say
me
it?
as
There's
a second.
cameras. Did you say fucking bastard when he got done talking?
Did I lip it?
Yes.
To myself, yes.
You said it.
I'm not gonna deny
It's disgusting.
that
I hope
because
somebody recalls you.
because I think it's horrible what we do to our the poorest people in our village.
But your one vote is 7.
We're doing it for everybody in the village.
Absolutely disgusting. I will be doing the recall, just so you know.
Well, that's fine. So when I was going through the things, I found some things that I thought we could save money at. Things like our Amazon Prime, if we pay monthly versus, or if we pay yearly versus monthly, we can save money.
I pay yearly.
Okay, well, on
I
here,
spend $47.
on the records that I received, we were paying them monthly. I was curious how often we used our Zoom account, because we were paying that monthly. These records are January of 2024 through November. And things like Microsoft, if we could look into paying that yearly versus monthly. Things like our business cards, if we buy them in large bulk, we can save a lot of money.
What business card?
We have VistaPrint for the office staff. And we can just find ways to cut costs. I use the same program. We buy monthly I buy it yearly in bulk, and you can save a lot of money. But there are.
What you're talking about, though, should be talking about if they're in the office during the work.
But
Not
no, I was.
Budget meeting.
or a budget meeting, yeah.
We're not having meetings. We're just having this. And I was told if I wanted to speak about something, I can bring it up in a meeting. That's what our attorney said.
And our government also, a lot of things about what you said, what you now would not do. And we're not gonna get into this big fight. We're not gonna talk about any council member or any employees in an open meeting. If you wanna have a special meeting, executive session, talk about it.
The only thing that I'm discussing is purchases that have went through the records that I looked at. Not who made them, not who's using the items, just the purchases that were made.
Can I make a comment about, I'm not sure, but sometimes for budgetary purposes, when something is paid annually, it's broken down into each month as an expense.
Okay,
So something that might show that was been paid monthly could have been paid in annual payment and then broken out as an expense on a monthly expense.
okay, cause these were just on each credit card, cause these are all paid by, with the credit card. There was some purchases on Amazon, given that we live in a lower income community. There was some things that I thought if we didn't need to purchase, we could save tons of money. Prime Video channels, is a monthly occurrence,
Peacock has
different
been
colored.
canceled. That was only running during the election.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. I did research on things that, how we spend our money as a municipality, and things like red staplers, salt lamps, wax melts, purple desktop stapler, colorful candy calculators,
How much was all that?
laptop, all of the
How much
red,
was all of that?
everything in red comes to over $1,000.
How much was
We
the,
have,
how much was the stapler and the,
so there's 3 different staplers. There's a red one, a purple one, and a blue one, and those add up to $38 and some change.
okay,
But using taxpayer
I'll pay for
money,
those, what else?
We can find cheaper avenues, like buying bulk. You can buy bulk office, you can get 24 of them for the same $38. That's a way we can save money, so that we don't have to up bills for our municipality. Amazon Music, paying that monthly, it's $99.99 a month. $14.99 on laptops, skin decals, $11.04 on a wireless mouse, cause it's purple. Digital purchases on
They
Amazon.
cost the same, no matter what the colors are.
But if you buy just the standard professional, it is cheaper. If you buy in bulk for the whole building, it is cheaper.
We'll get with this and we'll look over it, but that's it. It also costs, we've got several $1,000s invested in lawyer fee too from a lot of stuff that's going on in here.
Thank you, Dan.
And so, we're not gonna discuss this in the open meeting, like I said, if you wanna go to executive session, we can do that, or call a special meeting for it, and do an executive session.
Well, now, hold on, the only thing I do think needs to be said in an open meeting is, we've spent, Steve Hoy told me this out of his own mouth. We've spent over $10,000 just in having to deal with all of these records requests and having all these things vetted or redacted and so forth.
Then why not just present the records? Why not just let me have access to see what I wanna see and then leave the office?
Because that's not how it works, Elizabeth.
Every
We're
single
doing
person
what
on this
Our attorneys
board,
told us to do in this environment that's been created.
every single person
So-
on this board can go up to Trina and say, hey, I have a question, can I talk in your office? And she'll answer the door. You know what she tells me? No, she won't even make eye contact.
You
And
know,
it's been like that ever
Well-
since I started asking for financial documents. I have major concerns, and nobody will listen to me. And no, I'm not gonna go into an executive session so you can scream at me and bang a table, Kelly. It's not gonna happen. If you wanna speak to me, you can speak to me right here
oh, okay.
in front of everyone.
Well, I have a problem with that. I mean, I'm not a fan of executive session anyway. But, here's the thing. All the years I've been on this board, anything that I wanted to accomplish, I did it by, being collaborative with my other council members. And if I had the concerns that you had, I would have brought everything that you said to council and said, hey, I have these concerns about, do you think that I should call the state of Ohio or call the auditor up in Provo? Do you think I should? And all of us would have talked to you about that. But you're going out there on your own, I don't know what it is, vendetta almost, or I don't understand, I just don't understand. You do nothing with us. You do everything, I feel like, to us. Like you're trying to punish somebody or be this martyr or this savior.
I'm not a martyr or a
I'm not
savior.
finished speaking. You have caused this village, you've created chaos and havoc and I'm trying to find what you've accomplished. I mean, really, I'm trying to find what you've accomplished. You've accomplished putting between $10,000 and $15,000 in legal fees. That's really all you've accomplished. And you've driven wedges among people in our town, among the employees in our town, and the council members. And I really don't know what your payoff is. I really don't know. Because, you know, if you spent 15,000 legal fees, to tell me that we've spent money on bird seed and purple, keyboards, you know, congratulations. But, you know, I got a question for you. You're always talking about somebody's coming up to you and saying X, Y, and Z. I mean, somebody said to me, they thought your chickens had bird flu. They thought that you're selling eggs that maybe be tainted with bird flu. I was told that, you know, there's a rat and mouse infestation around your house because of the chickens and all that kind of stuff. I was told, yeah, but the other, and they asked me, I wonder if Lizzie's paying sales tax on her eggs. I wonder if she's paying sales tax on her soap and her other products. And somebody said that they had some of your soap and they had a terrible rash and irritation. You had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see all these baseless accusations that people make? And then should I call the Board of Agriculture? Should I call the Board of Health? Is that what you think someone should do when they've heard these little claims and all of these allegations?
Getting out of hand.
But do you see my point?
Alright.
Or is that lost on you, like everything else?
Alright. Going past that, you got it. We got a contract here for professional services, which is Brent Copeland. He's our magistrate. We was paying him $500 a month. We wanted an increase of, I think it's $1,600, $1,500 a month. I talked to him. He said he would do it for $750 a month. I have a contract here for that. So I'd like to get a motion to, but this is for 6 months, and after 6 months, if we're making more money from it, we would get him possibly look at giving him an increase.
Well, my question to Brent would be, what is he getting paid? Is he doing any other magistrate contract work? And if so, where, and then what is he getting paid there? So that's the first question I have for him. So whatever he's getting paid somewhere else, doing whatever their workload is, it ought to be in line.
Well, I had several emails that, Jennifer got from different villages and cities and magistrates that do this. And the cheapest one of them was like $1,500 a month.
Okay, but my question
And
remains.
plus hourly rates. So, I mean, this was the cheapest one that we got from another village magistrate. That was the cheapest one that we could find.
Well, I think Brent does a good job. I like him. I'm pleased with how he handles things. But at the same time, if he's charging X to Gratis and Y to us, I wanna understand.
I don't know that he does any other.
Okay.
Magistrates. I'm not.
Can you ask that question?
I can find out.
Is there a reason that, or the mayor, whoever is mayor, not just you, you're the mayor right now, but is there a reason that the mayor doesn't do mayor's court, why we hire a magistrate?
Because the mayor don't wanna do it. That's the only reason.
Oh.
We got to Columbus for training and we just say we're good.
Well, there's a lot to it.
That's a lot involved. I mean, we haven't had a regular mayor since, I think, Mary Melton was the last one.
I think Wilton's Village still a lot of potential liability.
Yeah.
Well, I make a motion that we pass resolution 2073-25, a contract for professional services for Brent Copeland at the amount of $750 per month, and this is for 6 months, which would be, you know, we look at it again
In 6 months.
in 6 months.
I second that.
Discussion.
I will vote yes on the contingency that if it's in line with what he's being charged, what he's charging elsewhere. So if I find out it's different, then I will make a motion to rescind this, but contingent on how, but,
to approve the minutes from both the December 19th meeting and the January 2nd meeting.
Discussion? Roll call?
Carla? Yay. Kelly?
Yay.
Judy?
Yay.
Lizzie? Yeah. Jeff?
Yeah.
Laura? Abstain.
Payroll?
I make a motion we pay our employees.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Roll call?
Carla? Yay. Kelly?
Yay.
Judy?
Yay.
Lizzie? Yay. Jeff?
Yeah.
Laura? Yay.
Purchase orders and invoices?
Make a motion we pay our bills.
Discussion? Roll call?
Carla? Yay. Kelly?
Yay.
Judy?
Yay.
Lizzie? Abstain, I was only able to look at half of them. Jeff?
Yeah.
Laura? Yay.
How would a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion? Roll call?
Carla? Yay. Kelly?
Yay.
Judy?
Yay.
Lizzie? Yay. Jeff? Laura? Yay.
Thank you all for coming.